Nevada's housing market isn't just declining, it's experiencing a catastrophic collapse that will destroy the wealth of anyone foolish enough to buy property in these 10 cities. While Las Vegas grabs headlines, the real housing disasters are happening in Nevada towns where speculation, economic collapse, and infrastructure failure are creating financial death traps for unsuspecting buyers. The Nevada real estate industry has been selling desert mirages as investment opportunities, and now buyers are discovering the brutal reality. These 10 cities represent ground zero for Nevada's housing apocalypse. Markets where buying property means financial suicide, and the American dream becomes a bankruptcy nightmare. Hit subscribe to Housing Truths USA because we're about to expose the housing market disasters that Nevada's real estate lobby desperately wants to hide from you. Number 10. Carlin, the mining town economic collapse. Carlin markets itself as affordable, small-town Nevada living, but it's actually an economic dead zone where mining layoffs have destroyed the entire housing market foundation. The $163,000 median home price reflects economic desperation, not affordability. Property values have plummeted 20% in 12 months because informed buyers understand this town's economy is finished. When the mining jobs disappeared, the entire economic base evaporated, leaving homeowners trapped in properties that lose value daily. The cheap housing comes with hidden costs that destroy budgets. Internet service is practically non-existent, making remote work impossible. The nearest grocery store is 30-plus minutes away, creating transportation costs that eliminate any housing savings. Healthcare access requires traveling hours to reach basic medical services. Schools are downsizing and closing as families flee the economic collapse. The remaining students attend underfunded facilities with outdated equipment and minimal programs. Property taxes continue rising to fund municipal services for a shrinking population. Infrastructure is crumbling with no tax base to support repairs. Roads deteriorate, water systems fail, and public services operate on skeleton crews with obsolete equipment. The town is entering a death spiral where declining population reduces tax revenue, which reduces services, which drives more residents away. Carlin isn't affordable living, it's economic abandonment, where buyers become trapped in worthless properties. Number 9. Caliente, the railroad town. Retirement trap. Caliente markets itself as historic charm and affordable retirement, but it's actually a dying railroad town with a housing market in complete freefall. Home values crashed 20% in just 12 months, and the decline is accelerating as the last residents abandon the town. The $163,000 median price reflects properties that will continue losing value as the economic base disappears completely. The railroad economy that once supported this town is gone forever. Modern logistics bypassed Caliente decades ago, leaving a community with zero employment opportunities beyond government jobs and retirement. Young residents flee immediately after high school, creating a demographic death spiral. Healthcare infrastructure is catastrophically inadequate. The single clinic operates limited hours with minimal services. Emergency medical care requires traveling 90-plus minutes to reach basic facilities. For seniors with serious medical conditions, living here means accepting substandard health care or expensive medical evacuation. The 16% vacancy rate reflects properties that cannot be sold or rented at any price. Homes sit abandoned as owners walk away from mortgages rather than continue paying for worthless assets. The rental market doesn't exist because no one wants to live here. Internet speeds make modern life impossible. Remote work, online education, and basic communication services are unavailable. Residents are isolated from the digital economy and modern society. Caliente isn't retirement charm. It's economic death disguised as affordable living. Number 8. Wells, the highway stop housing disaster. Wells markets itself as a convenient highway town, but it's actually a truck stop with houses where violent crime and economic stagnation destroy any semblance of livability. The $157,000 median home price comes with crime rates that exceed national averages despite the tiny population. In a town where everyone knows each other, the violent crime statistics reveal a community in social collapse. The economy depends entirely on interstate highway traffic, gas stations, truck stops, and motels that provide minimum wage employment with zero advancement opportunities. When fuel prices or highway routes change, the entire economic foundation crumbles. Infrastructure is designed for transient highway traffic, not permanent residents. Utilities are unreliable, internet service is primitive, and basic services are oriented toward truckers, not families. Living here means adapting to an economy designed for people passing through, not staying. The brothel economy that Nevada allows contributes to social problems that make family living untenable. The presence of legalized prostitution creates dynamics that many families find incompatible with child rearing. Property values decline because informed buyers understand this is a highway service area, not a community. The town has no future beyond serving interstate traffic, and even that function is declining as electric vehicles and changing travel patterns reduce highway dependence. Wells isn't convenient living, it's truck stop existence with a mortgage payment. Number 7. Hawthorne, the military ammunition town trap. Hawthorne markets itself as patriotic military town living, but it's actually a community built around an ammunition depot, with an economy offering zero civilian opportunities. The world's largest ammunition depot employs military personnel and security contractors, but provides virtually no civilian employment. The $147,000 median home price reflects a market that exists only to house military families who receive government subsidies that civilian residents don't get. Population decline exceeding 10% over the past decade demonstrates that anyone who can leave does. Young residents flee immediately for opportunities elsewhere, creating a demographic composition of retirees and military families with no permanent community investment. Healthcare infrastructure is designed for military personnel, not civilian residents. The single clinic provides minimal services, with no hospital access requiring travel to distant cities. Medical emergencies can become fatalities due to transport time. Schools are underfunded and declining as enrollment drops with the shrinking population. The education system serves military families who rotate through, not civilian residents seeking quality long-term education. The ammunition depot creates explosion risks and environmental concerns that many families find unacceptable. Living near thousands of tons of explosives means accepting risks that property insurance companies increasingly recognize and price accordingly. Hawthorne isn't military community living. It's ammunition depot housing for a transient population with no civilian future. Number 6. Pahrump, the prepper town. Financial disaster. Pahrump markets itself as affordable desert, living near Las Vegas, but it's actually a dysfunctional community where crime, infrastructure failure, and isolation create a living nightmare. The $225,000 median home price is plummeting as buyers discover the reality behind the affordable escape marketing. Crime rates 30% above national average make this one of Nevada's most dangerous communities, despite the distance from urban areas. Water restrictions and septic system failures create ongoing crises that make basic living conditions unreliable. Many properties lack municipal water and sewer, requiring expensive private systems that frequently fail in desert conditions. The infrastructure never caught up with population growth. Roads are inadequate, utilities are unreliable, and public services are stretched beyond capacity. The growing community is actually a planning disaster where development outpaced any ability to provide services. Internet and communication services are substandard and unreliable. Modern remote work is impossible in areas where high-speed internet doesn't exist. Residents are cut off from the digital economy. The libertarian/prepper culture that characterizes Pahrump creates social dynamics that many families find incompatible with normal community living. The emphasis on self-sufficiency and distrust of government produces a fractured society with minimal community cohesion. Property values decline as buyers recognize Pahrump offers all the disadvantages of rural isolation with none of the advantages of community or infrastructure. Pahrump isn't affordable desert living, it's dysfunctional isolation with a mortgage. Number 5. Lovelock, the prison town. Economic trap. Lovelock markets itself as quiet small town living, but it's actually a prison town where the economy depends entirely on incarceration with unemployment rates double the state average. The $140,000 median home price reflects a community built around a correctional facility that provides the only significant employment. The local economy exists to house and serve prison staff, creating a single employer dependence that makes the housing market extremely vulnerable. Population stagnation with an aging demographic means the community has no future growth prospects. Young people leave immediately, and no one moves in except prison employees who treat it as temporary assignment, not permanent residence. School performance below state averages reflects the limited resources and declining enrollment. Education quality suffers as the tax base shrinks, and the student population comes primarily from transient prison employee families. The prison economy creates social dynamics that affect quality of life. The constant presence of incarceration as the community's economic foundation influences social interactions and community character in ways many families find unacceptable. Infrastructure is minimal and declining. Basic services operate on limited budgets with aging equipment. The town maintains only what's necessary to support the prison, not what residents need for quality of life. Property values will continue declining as the prison employment becomes less stable and automation reduces staffing needs. The single employer economy offers no diversification or resilience. Lovelock isn't quiet, small town living. It's prison economy dependence disguised as community. Number 4. West Wendover, the casino town housing trap. West Wendover markets itself as casino town opportunity, but it's actually a border gambling outpost with a housing market collapsing as fast as the tourism economy. The $229,000 median home price is sinking because the casino-dependent economy is extremely volatile and declining. Over 60% employment dependence on casino tourism means economic disaster when gambling revenues decline or regional competition increases. School rankings among Nevada's worst reflect the transient casino worker population and minimal educational investment. Families working casino jobs can't provide stable educational environments, and the community doesn't invest in schools that primarily serve temporary residents. Infrastructure is decades behind with crumbling sidewalks and outdated utilities. The town invested in casino facilities but neglected residential infrastructure, creating living conditions incompatible with family life. Rental costs exceed ownership costs because most residents are transient casino workers who don't want permanent ties. This creates a distorted market where buying makes even less sense than the already bad rental market. The border location creates jurisdictional complications and service limitations. Being on the Utah border means dealing with two state systems while receiving full benefits from neither. Housing inspections are minimal and standards are low. Properties are marketed as move-in ready when they barely meet basic habitability standards. Buyers discover expensive repair needs after purchase. West Wendover isn't casino opportunity. It's gambling economy collapse with a mortgage payment. Number 3. Yarrington, the agricultural town automation disaster. Yarrington markets itself as scenic agricultural living, but it's actually a farming community where automation and mining decline are destroying the entire economic foundation. The $189,000 median home price is dropping fast as farming automation eliminates jobs and mining operations downsize. The two industries that supported this town are both experiencing technological displacement that permanently reduces employment. Population is flatlined with young residents fleeing for opportunities elsewhere. The demographic composition is aging retirees and workers in declining industries with no future growth prospects. Healthcare access is catastrophically limited. The single small hospital provides minimal services with long wait times. Specialist care requires traveling hours to reach facilities in other cities. Schools are below state average and experiencing declining enrollment as families leave. The education system serves a shrinking student population with limited resources and programs. Infrastructure is aging with no tax base to support modernization. Water systems, roads, and utilities operate on outdated equipment that increasingly fails. The town cannot afford necessary improvements as the population and tax base shrink. The agricultural economy faces water scarcity issues that threaten long-term viability. Drought conditions and water rights conflicts make farming increasingly difficult and unprofitable. Internet infrastructure makes modern remote work impossible. The digital divide isolates Yarrington from economic opportunities that could provide alternative employment. Yarrington isn't scenic agricultural living. It's automation displacement, creating economic collapse. Number 2, Beatty, the Death Valley gateway to financial death. Beatty markets itself as the gateway to Death Valley, but it's actually the gateway to real estate death, where property values are dying faster than the desert heat. Home values crashed 17% in 1 year, and the decline is accelerating as the tourism economy fails and population shrinks. The $142,000 median price reflects properties that will continue losing value as the town's economic base disappears. The tourism economy depends on Death Valley visitors, but changing travel patterns and climate concerns are reducing traffic. The town built its existence around tourism that's declining and may never recover. Healthcare access is practically non-existent. The single clinic provides minimal services, with the nearest emergency room 2 counties away. Medical emergencies can become fatalities due to transport time and distance. Internet service is so poor that modern communication is impossible. Remote work, online education, and digital services are unavailable. Residents are isolated from the modern economy and society. The population is shrinking faster than tumbleweeds in windstorms, as anyone with options leaves. The remaining residents are those too poor to relocate or too old to start over elsewhere. Property values will continue declining as climate change makes desert living less viable, and tourism patterns shift away from extreme heat destinations. Beatty's entire economic premise is becoming obsolete. Infrastructure is failing with no resources to maintain basic services. The town is entering terminal decline, where each departing resident reduces the tax base, which reduces services, which drives more departures. Beatty isn't Death Valley gateway living. It's real estate death in the desert. Number 1, North Las Vegas, the suburban speculation disaster. North Las Vegas takes the top spot because it represents the complete failure of speculative suburban development. This city experienced the fastest housing boom and is now experiencing the most catastrophic bust in Nevada. Home values crashed from $399,000 peak to below $335,000 and continuing to slide. Buyers who purchased at the peak are underwater by $60,000 plus, with values still declining. The foreclosure rate is among Nevada's highest, as owners walk away from properties worth less than their mortgages. The rapid overdevelopment created neighborhoods with inadequate infrastructure. Roads flood, utilities fail, and public services can't keep pace with the population. Developers built thousands of homes without ensuring adequate schools, hospitals, or municipal services. Crime rates 30% above national average make this one of Nevada's most dangerous cities. The rapid growth attracted criminal elements while law enforcement struggled to keep pace. Family neighborhoods became crime zones. Traffic congestion is nightmarish as inadequate road infrastructure tries to handle suburban sprawl. Commutes that should take 15 minutes require 45+ minutes through construction zones and inadequate highways. HOA fees are crushing homeowners while providing minimal services. Many developments have broken gates and limited amenities despite high monthly fees. The promised gated community lifestyle never materialized. Schools are overcrowded and underfunded as the population growth overwhelmed educational capacity. Students attend classes in portable buildings with inadequate resources and stressed teachers. The granite countertops and modern finishes can't disguise the fundamental problems. Homes were built for speculation, not livability. And now buyers are discovering the difference. North Las Vegas isn't suburban opportunity. It's speculative overdevelopment, creating financial devastation. These 10 Nevada cities represent the complete failure of desert real estate speculation. From mining town collapse to suburban overdevelopment disaster, Nevada's housing markets demonstrate what happens when speculation replaces sustainable economic development. The affordable desert living narrative is propaganda designed to trap buyers in economically unsustainable communities. Mining automation, tourism decline, infrastructure failure, and climate vulnerability are converging to create housing market conditions that will destroy wealth for anyone caught holding Nevada real estate. Don't believe the propaganda about Nevada opportunity and affordable living. These are economic disaster zones disguised as housing markets, and the collapse is accelerating. Want to protect yourself from Nevada's housing market lies? Subscribe to Housing Truths USA. We expose the real estate industry deception that will bankrupt you, not the desert mirage fantasies that destroy financial futures. The Nevada housing bubble has burst. Don't let it bury your financial future in the desert.